Hello and welcome. This is Eagle Eye 621, and what you see behind me is a massive carpet duper. This machine is capable of generating 1,417,000 plus carpets per hour. That's because it is 47 slices, and with this particular clock, each one of those slices are capable of generating a little over 30,100 carpet per hour. So the machine will fill a chest in under 4.4 seconds. It's about 400 carpet per second. In terms of fuel efficiency, carpets can burn 0.335 items per carpet. Really, you should just think of it as a third, and you get a bonus every 500 carpet. It only matters for the first time when you reach 200 and you get 67 instead of the 66 you might otherwise get. But most of this is going to be massively overkill. It's enough fuel in this machine to burn 474,000 plus items per hour, or run 2.4 of my 198,000 XP per hour furnace farms. So I'll show you how to make this on a little bit of a smaller scale. It will make a lot more sense to you, and I will show you how you can expand it and talk about the importance of the clock and the different rates that you can get. But before I do that, let me just ask you to hit that subscribe button. Most of you are still not subscribed, and it would really help out a lot if you do. And I do have a join button from YouTube. If you're interested in supporting me in that way, it would also be greatly appreciated. So let's see this thing in action, and then we'll talk about the materials to build one, and I will take you through that, of course. Now, this machine is going to be murder on the frames, so I do apologize if this turns into a little bit of a slideshow. So let me back away as fast as possible using glass in order for you to be able to see everything. It's also generating way more particles than my poor laptop can handle. And even at this distance, you can see it's still a little bit of an issue. As we do back up, though, you'll see that this is not actually terrible on the machine once you get far enough away. And when my software isn't running, right now you're seeing actual game lag. Anything above 50 MSTs is real world lag. Without my computer software running, that number actually hovers between 35 and 40. So this machine would not lag out your game unless you were pretty close. Again, though, this is massively overkill. As I get closer, you can see that the frames will start to drop significantly. I'm actually going to turn that off now so I can focus on getting to the off switch right here. And there we go. And with only half the machine running, so just break that, you can see it a lot easier. Doesn't even really hurt the frames at this level. And you can see about how fast this is going as the carpets start to make their way all the way down this aisle. Have some lava to destroy everything. But if I just dip myself into this, you can see exactly how fast this fills up your inventory. Of course, this is only half speed. So now let's talk about making smaller versions of this and the materials you need. A lot of it is pretty much what you see as what you get. I'll put that back for later. And while we do that, we're also going to be running another little experiment over here. So this is a copy of the machine I was doing a bunch of testing on. You can see a whole bunch of signs. Carpet duping is a little bit finicky and strange sometimes. If you use an observer clock, you actually get different rates at the different levels, with the top one only getting you 6,000 per hour and the bottom one getting you 9,000. For some reason, the fourth is in there at 7,000, even though these two are the same. And in fact, with an observer clock, only using 4 carpets actually gets you more than 5. But let's forget about that for right now, because the appropriate clock is this comparator clock. But the appropriate speed is actually going to be 2 ticks. And we'll run this for a little while so you can see exactly what happens while we build one of these on our own. And the materials are over here in this chest. You are going to need not a lot of blocks, but you do need slime. And I brought some other colors of carpet just to make this a little bit easier. and you are going to need a dead coral fan. It doesn't matter which one you have, but you will need that to make sure that this does work in all of the different orientations. So let's make a copy of these materials real quick, and let's start building. We just want to come up off the ground a little bit so that we have space and our slime blocks don't run into anything. Then we're going to make this 4 and 3, just like that. We're going to put our lever right here. You can make this any power source you want, but that's just going to be easier to do it. With our comparator on here, make sure it's in subtract mode. And then we're going to have our dust come around like this, and our repeater on the middle one right there. And we're going to make that 2 ticks, which is the clock that you're looking for. That's the clock that will get you 30,150 per hour. Now you can attach your sticky piston to any of the blocks that have this redstone dust on it. And in fact, you can use this to make 4 of these modules just like that. And you can, of course, extend the signal in whichever direction you want to make that a little bit easier. As you saw with this one, I just made 2 different directions and split it down the center so it went as far as it could in each. And then you're going to put 6 slime blocks. And at the very bottom, you're going to put the fan. And you're going to stack up with whatever carpet you want. Just have a couple different colors so you can see it is duplicating them at all of the different levels. Start with blue, black, more blue, white, and red. And now when you turn this on, you will see that all your carpets are being duplicated. Some of them do fall straight down, and some of them do get launched off distance, which is the purpose of the walls. So if you were building this in your survival world, you'd also want to grab some extra materials, it can be glass or whatever it is you'd like, and just go out a couple of blocks and make a little wall so that anything that gets shot out is contained, and also go a little bit to each side. In case it has some lateral momentum, it will be able to contain it. And below that, you can add your water streams or whatever system you would like in order to collect all this carpet that you are making. Now, the reason that we're on 2 ticks and not that 1 tick is because on 1 tick, you will see that a lot of the carpet gets stuck. And this is not a visual thing, I'll run through it. That means that the total amount you collect is not as good, and more importantly, the amount of lag generated by all these extra items being in your world is really not great. So you can see as I run down how much extra carpet there was, and there was no carpet on that before we started this machine. And that's not just this making a lot of carpet faster. You can see if I run past him, you don't get nearly that amount. It's all from the buildup on that. So when you leave it on 2 ticks like this, you don't get any of that buildup onto the carpet itself. This will continue running very happily. Interestingly enough, on 1 tick, this module will produce about 45,000 carpet per hour, so it's a solid 50% more than your machine that is on 2 ticks. The problem, as I already mentioned, is that getting it into your collection system is a lot more complicated because it gets stuck on the carpet itself. Now, there are a couple of ways around it if you want to do a little bit more complex redstone, and that is every so often to add an extra redstone tick to this so that it retracts properly. If it gets stuck in the extension, the carpet won't drop, but if you pull in the slime blocks for that extra redstone tick or 2, then all of the carpet that was stuck on this will fall through. That does cause some other problems though. The bursts of a lot of carpet at the same time can jam up your hoppers or bypass them directly just based on the amount of speed and the collection rates of your hoppers. So even though this is less than you would get in terms of total production of a 1 redstone tick versus the 2 redstone tick, this is a lot more collectible and a lot more friendly to your collection system. And we can walk away. And as shown over here, it's very easy to just add more modules. You can see each one of these sticky pistons can make an extra module, and this tiny machine right here, just putting the 4 on it like this, would be capable of producing 120,000. You could even get a little more interesting, grabbing an extra one like this and going underneath, and also going underneath here, and you could even go underneath here. And this is all on the fly, so you'll have to excuse me if I'm doing something wrong. But the idea is that on your extension, they won't link into each other. So these would go up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one also goes up. This one right here goes up as well. And then these would go down. And one more over here. And now you have these 4 on top, as well as 3 on the bottom. And they're all perfectly fine. And you would see that, I'm just going to use the blue for now. If we get our carpet on all of these, and you do want to make sure that it is going forward. You can also go back, but obviously that gives you some problems in terms of getting carpet to where the sticky piston is located. And we also want to get these ones up here. And here as well. And here as well. And with 3 up and 4 down, just based on how these are, that's 7 times 30,000 plus is over 200,000 carpet being generated just from this tiny clock. So you don't really need to mess with the more complicated redstone of getting the extra out of them when you could just have a bunch more arms to generate all this carpet. Turn that off before I lag out and crash my world. And as this one's been running for a while, you should see that as it is on the 2 ticks, when I run up and down here, there is no extra that's been stuck. It's just the amount that's generating right there. So you don't have that issue with item buildup in your world. So this is what you want to design. In your real world, you are going to want to put walls around this and a water stream underneath. And if you want to go to truly extremes just to flex, or if you have a server that has a furnace farm which is so large that I don't think you can have it because your world would have crashed from the amount of furnaces and hoppers that you would need just to put the fuel in, the items in, and take the items out, then you can build something like this monstrosity right here. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate a like, maybe even tell one of your friends about it, and for more videos like this, do be sure to subscribe. Thanks for stopping by.